there were 3 things that went on at Christmas in prison. First of all, we had a day where we'd all go down and get hot.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to remember the. Hey, this is Matt Cox, and we are going to be talking about what it's like to do not Christmas, because they don't have Christmas and Thanksgiving in prison. They have holiday meals, right?
Are we doing just the meals or just being in prison during the holidays?
Are we doing being in prison during? Yeah, let's do that. Being in prison, being in prison. We're doing being in prison during the holidays, but still, like it's not. They're holidays. That's right. I forgot. You're a little liberal. So anyway, I felt like it was Christmas. You know, it was Christmas, even though, you know, people would go around and they would say, well, they wouldn't say holidays. No, listen, inmates are by far not extremely liberal people.
Okay. You're going to tell them to hit the like and I mean,
so if you like the video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this. Also, do me a favor, leave me a comment in the comment section. I try and respond to all comments. And also, please consider joining my Patreon. So check out the video. The first time I did that, I was at Danny's at Concrete. I couldn't do it. Like Danny was just like, he was like, say this, say that. He videoed me and just to put something up on my channel, and I could barely get it out because it sounds so corny, so overwhelming and corny.
Effective.
It is, but now I realize, like, you know, with that it is. I remember some guy left me a comment one time. He said, "Yo, bro," he's like, "I know you don't want to consider yourself like a YouTuber or an influencer or whatever." He's like, "Yeah, but you are, dude." He's like, "So you need to just deal with it." I was like, "Well,
trendsetter, yeah."
No, I was just thinking a little harsh, bro. Like
yeah, deal with it.
Let me ease into this. So, go ahead. So, prison during the holidays.
Yes. So, the holidays, I think we should do it in order. Like you got Thanksgiving.
All right.
And Christmas, you know, and New Year's, because each one of those has a different effect on.
So is Easter. Don't you get Easter? There's like an Easter meal.
Easter.
It's not really
Easter
a good meal. It's not like a serious meal.
Well, see, Thanksgiving is on a Thursday, right? And it's a big meal. And the only reason I want to bring it up is because of like the preparation beforehand. Like if you're there and you're somebody that gets commissary, then usually 5 or 6 guys get together and go, listen, we're all going to go down there. Everyone's going to bring back their ham and turkey. You know what I'm saying? They have a plan for a festivity, a meal back at the unit.
Are you saying commissary?
Right. No, like if you're hanging around people who get commissary on Thanksgiving, right? If I get commissary, I'll tell you, look, we're going to make a meal.
Right.
I'm going to mix things up. You're going to go down to the chow hall and get your turkey and your ham and bring it back during Thanksgiving, and I'm going to make us something special for Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
Right. The point I'm making is it's one of those times where if someone's going to cook, they kind of get with their perspective in prison family. Like the people that I really mess with. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm talking about is let's talk about I'm talking about the actual meal. Like you actually get a meal.
Yeah, you
like
do
you're
get a
saying
meal.
You bring your stuff back.
Well,
That's after. I'm talking about beforehand. Okay. So for instance, right now, Thanksgiving, you actually you don't get a Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah, you do. I mean, on Thanksgiving.
They don't call it a Thanksgiving meal.
Oh, okay. What do they call it?
They call it it's a holiday meal. All of them are holiday. You never notice that? They never say where it's Christmas.
Right.
It's Christmas dinner or
they
it's
do call it a holiday meal.
The holiday meal is going to be because they try not to kind of push that.
Right.
For some reason.
Certain religions.
Right.
So yeah, you're right.
So what, like at the medium, which was basically just like, because by the time I got locked up, and you got like, we had the what was it, the national menu?
Yes.
They changed where it used to be every prison kind of came up with their own menu.
Right.
But eventually they said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a national menu. So throughout the entire nation, on Tuesdays you get this, on Wednesday, on Thursday. Not that they ever ever followed that menu to the letter, but they kind of came semi-close.
Right.
So, but for the holiday meal, for like Thanksgiving,
you'd have a regular breakfast, which was usually trash, something like a continental breakfast. And then for lunchtime, around 12 or 1, that's when you would go and get the turkey.
right?
They'd have like cranberries.
Yes.
They'd have ham for some people. One place had actually turkey neck, I remember, but they'd have the stuffing.
I don't know what turkey neck is.
It's a turkey neck.
The actual neck of the turkey?
Actual neck of the turkey. Jessup, actually. When I was at Jessup, they did, yeah. And people, anyway, I wanted extra. It was so good. It's a lot of bones,
yeah,
but it was good. But
okay,
all right. It looks like a slinky. It's like this, but anyway, but because it collapsed on itself. So, but it's cranberries, stuffing, mashed potatoes. You get ham and turkey. You get a sweet potato pie. You kind of get like a full meal. It's like a tray and something else, but they give it to you at lunchtime. You get it about 12 or 11 or 12 o'clock.
Was it lunchtime?
Yeah, it was at lunch. Because then when you left, they'd give you a bag for your dinner.
Right, you got a bag lunch.
Bag dinner.
Bag dinner.
Which was a couple of sandwiches.
Right.
And that was really because normally when you're there, all food had to be eaten in the chow hall. On Thanksgiving, they'd look the other way and let you sneak some of the food back.
Yeah, I'm sure that depends on the administration at the time.
Yeah, most.
Yeah.
Like I had never once seen them take food coming out Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing that I noticed was that, when I got locked up, like the concept that they would give you a special meal for the holidays,
right,
didn't even occur to me.
What?
Never even occurred to me that the prison would go out of its way for the inmates for a holiday meal. Because to me, being on the outside, not knowing anybody who'd ever really been incarcerated, I thought that it was basically that everything would be kind of standardized and that there would be nothing special for any special days or any special meals. Thought it would all, I'm thinking slop. Like you go through the line and slop, you know what I'm saying? It's just, what is that? Just eat it. Like I really thought
This is before you went?
Of course, it's before I went. Because once I went, you immediately start, you're in county jail. Well, you're in the marshal's holdover. And guys who have been to prison start telling you like, oh man, like like I was in for like Thanksgiving. And just before Thanksgiving, and they had a meal. But within a few days of me being there, but it was like a county jail meal, which is horrible, it's like they give you like like 2 slices of like bologna and like, a piece of toast and of extra compared to whatever you were going to get normally. And that's it. And so guys were saying like, oh man, when you get to prison, you get this and you get this and you get this. And you're like, what? Like, I'm shocked they gave us this. Right. They're like, nah, bro. Like they'll give you good food. Like trust me, it's oh, you get and they start telling you all the things you get, which, we'll talk about the Christmas bag in a minute. But yeah, so I didn't think anything. So the first time I got to prison and really got like the Thanksgiving kind of, holiday meal, bro, and keep in mind too, I got there before the national menu. They still had fountain soda and 7-Up, and it was amazing.
Can we talk about that for just 1 second?
Yeah,
because I was thinking that when you were saying about your concept of it, because when I got there in 2007. What year did you get there?
I got there 2007.
All right. The noticeable decline in the food in 2007 when we got there. When you got French fries on Wednesday, they were hot. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And the burger was good with lettuce and tomato, with mayonnaise, ketchup.
Yeah.
I mean,
listen, in the morning there was scrambled eggs.
Yes.
There were like you got like like grits, you got scrambled eggs, you got some kind
oatmeal.
of I was gonna say oatmeal, some kind of a
Danish,
some kind of like a Danish type thing. Like you got stuff. Like it was like wow.
Yes.
And then the national menu came. But
there was a decline.
There had been a decline for 10 years. Keep in mind, Reese, which is my cousin, which is really my brother-in-law's cousin, but
it's cousin.
It's your cousin in prison. You might have all grown up with together. Reese was, when Reese got there, you were smoking cigarettes. Not that I smoke, but they smoked cigarettes. They had 2 huge bags, for your Christmas bags, which we'll talk about. They used to tell these guys, you had 2 lockers. Every inmate got 2 full-size lockers.
Yes.
You got Tupperware bowls, and they told them when they went to the holiday meals, bring your Tupperware bowls. They would let you fill up 2 Tupperware bowls of food and bring it back. He gained like 25 pounds within the first 2 or 3 months when he got to federal prison.
Wow.
Of course, he was on meth. But
he was starting from zero.
And he talked about how it had gone down, and every year, down, 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 down. So anyway, back to the Thanksgiving meal, and you said it's progressively got worse.
Yeah, the decline of it was unbelievable. So, like, our first Thanksgiving meal that I remember at Coleman was fantastic.
That's what I'm saying.
There was, I can't remember what was in the foil paper, but I think it was like beef. I'm like, what about my God?
They give you the Cornish hens.
Yes.
You got a Cornish hen. You always got a Cornish hen, by the way. We always got
Cornish hen Christmas.
Was it Christmas or was it Thanksgiving? Are you sure?
Cornish hen was Christmas. Thanksgiving was sliced turkey.
Do you know how many people will be angry at this conversation?
I don't blame them, but it was first of all, it was like my first Thanksgiving meal in there, I couldn't believe it. But then I think my last Thanksgiving meal in there, I couldn't believe it because it was so bad.
Right.
I can't believe this.
You should be ashamed of yourself. This almost makes it not worth coming to prison.
That's right. But it started off very, very good. But it is a large size. It's a big meal, regardless. Even back at the end. And back then, I don't like.
You couldn't eat it all. You couldn't eat it all.
Did they give? I think they still had a dinner tray at night. I think with the national menu came the bags. I think we ate Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
And then you'd go back, and nobody went. I remember nobody went back for the other tray. Like I went in there for dinner, going, "What the?"
There's no reason. No, there's no reason to go back. You're so full. You're sick.
So they started with just the bags.
Everybody's napping.
Yeah. They got the itis.
So you go. So that's Thanksgiving, right? Like you have enough to bring back. You have enough to eat. You're good.
And that's what I was going to say. So it kind of like, and I was going to bring this point up. People create like when you're there because you're around people. It's like family,
right?
So the people that you hang around with, like at least every year that I've known, somebody would say, "Hey, for Thanksgiving, Matt, I'm cooking up something. You want to get in on it? What do I need? Buy 2 soups and a turkey log." You know what I'm saying? And then they would take all the food and make like a gumbo or put something together, and they'd all sit and eat together and watch the football game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, it wasn't like a woman with an apron. Well, at some places it was, but you know, serving everybody their bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Is he like this all the time, Winter? What? With the silly jokes and is it? I'm sorry.
It's a dad thing.
Yeah.
It really is. Like he tells dad jokes
all the time.
But I thought it was a beautiful thing.
Right.
The camaraderie.
everybody.
The camaraderie of it.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
No, this is different.
Walks up to random people. What's up, big dog?
You had your chance to display all that. Anyway.
All right. So I get it. So yeah, there's
I had moments then. I thought it was nice. I'm like, oh, this is like my Coleman family. This is like my USP Beaumont family. This is like my Jessup family.
What about Christmas?
Now, so Christmas came. There were 3 things that went on at Christmas in prison. First of all, we had a day where we'd all go down and get hot chocolate and cookies.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to say that. I didn't think you were going to remember the hot chocolate and cookies.
Yes.
I didn't listen.
And that's before the Christmas meal. So like maybe Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve, they would call everyone back to their unit, and then we would all line up and we would all go one at a time in a long single file line to the chow hall and get a cup of hot cocoa.
Yeah.
And a little bag of cookies.
Yeah, 2 or 3 cookies, maybe. But
Oh,
real cookies.
At the beginning, it was a bag of sugar cookies.
Oh, yeah,
it was actually a bag, and then it went down to 2 or 3 cookies.
Yeah, we got 2 or 3 cookies.
Then it was actually some crumbs you'd have to sweep up off the floor.
But they were decent sized cookies. But here's what killed me is that guys that would bitch and moan. Man, making us like we was a bunch of little kids gonna line up and go get your hot chocolate, go get your cookies. Oh, yeah, that be embarrassed, man. That's just ridiculous. I go, you going? Man, you know I'm going, Cox. Shut up.
I'm behind you.
You going?
Let's go. I'm behind.
If you're not going, I'll take your ticket. I'll go through twice.
Oh yeah, they did give you a ticket.
Yeah, and they're like, man.
Was it Coleman that used to give us tickets for lunch?
No,
we used to scan our ID.
Scan your ID. Yeah.
There was a place that used to give tickets out for lunch.
Yeah.
I remember.
Well, with the Christmas meals, you always got a ticket.
Oh.
Guys would always.
Oh, that's right. So you couldn't skip or doo-wop.
You know how many times I tried to like go buy, like I would get like colored paper, and then you try and figure like I got 3 sheets of colored paper, and I'm gonna cut the ticket out. And then you could go through like multiple times, right?
I thought that wasn't Coleman with the tickets.
Yes,
because we used to save the tickets because I remember in the desk drawer.
But that wasn't like for every day. That was just holiday.
Well, I thought it was for every day because people go, I don't have a lunch ticket. I go like, look, I got a couple in here we could use.
No, this was
what color is the ticket? Okay,
trust me, you scanned it.
Oh yeah,
because if you scanned it twice within like 30 minutes, it would go whoop whoop whoop. Like it would make this noise, and everybody would turn, and the cops would be like, "Come here!" And be like, "No, man, I'm telling you." But what would happen is guys would lose their IDs. So if I had your ID, like
your old lost. So I'd lose my ID, you'd find it,
right?
Keep it, and go and eat.
They issue you another one. So Reese had like 3 IDs,
of course,
and Reese would walk through with. So the first time, no big deal. You're using somebody else's ID. Whoop. You clip it, you get your meal. He'd go get whatever he wanted off, get back in line, go through again with his real ID.
Right.
Because if the guard recognized him, they'd be like, "Hey, let me see your ID. Didn't you just come through here?" "No." And you just came through here. He go, "Man, check the camera." But they're not checking the camera.
Right.
And he go, "What are you talking about? I just walked in." They go, "Well, let me see you here again." But that's like 1 out of 20 times.
Right.
But think about it. The guy that you used his ID, he got another ID issued, same number. So he might go through 5 minutes later and goes, whoop, whoop. Cop goes, "Give me that tray." It's like, "No, but I haven't eaten. Get out of here. You're going to go to the shoe. Trying to go through twice. I didn't go through twice. What are you talking about?" It's so horrible. And I'd be like, "Reese, don't you feel bad?" You're like, "No, I feel bad."
Nah. What if he doesn't eat? Anyway, did you want this other burger? But look, So first of all, we'd get the cookies and the hot chocolate.
Yes.
So they would treat us like kids. And of course, everyone got the treatment.
Of course I went. And I went.
Oh,
I
me
went.
too. Me too.
I always went. My favorite was one time this guy was walking by one of the COs, because the COs have to be like, "This is pathetic." Like, don't these guys must feel like horrible?
It's a steady stream.
Yeah, a line.
It's like the line is just. It's like
you're all walking there with your little treats,
and everyone's walking back with the bag, and
the COs. They're all there. So what's funny is one time that one of the COs, I'll never forget this. The guy goes, he said, so let's say the CO's name was Sniper. They always nickname Sniper, like,
right.
And he'd be like, "Hey, Sniper, what's up?" He's like, he said something. You want a cookie? Or he said, "Give me a." What did he say? Something I forget. Like give me a ticket. I'll give you a ticket for one of those whatever. I'll give you a cookie if you let me use your cell phone for 5 minutes or something like that. Joking around, right? The cop could be like, "Why would I do that? I can just go pull it out of your locker in 10 minutes." And it was like, "Oh." He was like, "Oh man, that hurt." And he was like, "Oh, that's fucked up, bro." And I was like, So anyway, yeah. So that we would go back up to, and you'd eat your cookies if they made them that far.
Yeah, true.
Drink
We eat
your
them
hot
in line,
chocolate.
but yeah, it was. So that was the first part of the Christmas celebration.
That's the
All
first one.
Yeah. The second part is they would pass out a Christmas bag. Or I think the Christmas bag came before the hot chocolate. I think it actually came on the same day.
Yeah, you're right. It might have been my same day.
I think they'd lock us down, pass out the Christmas bag, and then we'd come out and go get the hot chocolate and cookies.
Yeah.
So what they do is they would actually give us a Christmas bag full of goodies, which were snacks and like candy, chips.
My buddy Christopher Doyle, they called him slow motion because he had a hernia. He used to call them exotics. They were stuff that you typically couldn't find on Commissary.
True.
Right? It was like, it would be something like, Cheetos, but like hot Cheetos. Like they sold Cheetos, but they didn't sell hot Cheetos. Or there'd be some kind of different kind of alternative thing that listen, the first year I was there, they gave out shower slides. Like they spent and the bag was.
Well, the organization.
Well, and I think the money that they probably had at that time,
Yes.
the bag was packed.
Right.
I mean, tons of like Oreo cookies, like multiple different, all kinds of, chocolate bars, like all kinds. I was like,
Yes.
This is insane.
Delicious.
How much they gave us. And I was like, and I'm thinking, I can't believe that the prison gives this stuff out. And yet everybody that had been locked up 3 or 4 years before, for at least the last 3 or 4 years, complained. And I was like, this is insane. This is great. They're like, I know, man. Last year was twice as big. This is bullshit. And I'd be like, are you insane?
Look at all these snacks.
They just gave it. This has got to be $100. It probably wasn't.
Nah.
It was probably, but to me, this is probably $50 or $100 worth of stuff. Like they gave you shower slides. The shower slides are selling for $10 on Commissary. They gave it 2 bags of Keefy coffee. That's $7.
Do you know 2 years prior they had given out a radio.
A radio. And listen,
that's your phone.
According to Reese, they were giving out 2 bags.
Yes.
Bigger than that.
Oh, they had given out clothes. They'd give out T-shirts.
Right.
And, but like 2005 was the end like 2006, 7, it was on a precipitous downward slide. Well, one that's very obvious, like
once again, I was thrilled. Like I had such low expectations that when the food wasn't slop, I was like, wow, it's edible. Everybody's like, this is crap. And I was like, what are you talking about? This is like, I don't eat, beans or whatever, but you could eat those beans. Like, this is not what I thought at all. My version was Shawshank Redemption. That's what I thought.
Right.
I thought there would be weevils and stuff in our beans or in our food.
What was that he picked out of his
and he feeds it to the the guy
it was a bug.
It was
a bug in his oatmeal.
Yeah, and
he fed it to the little mouse.
No, it wasn't a
bird.
mouse.
It was a bird.
It was a bird.
The bird he had. He goes, "You gonna eat that?" And he goes, "No." And he gave it to him, and he fed it to the little bug. So yeah. So how long did your Christmas bag last? Like, how long did it take you to eat it? Did you eat it that day?
Probably a couple days. And we would trade with people. I'd go, you had peanuts. Like, it's like, okay, I don't like these peanuts, but I like candy bars. Like, I'll give you the
Whoppers.
peanut. You're right.
Say trade the Whoppers for the Snicker bar or something like that.
Yeah. And then some of these guys would walk around. They were begging for certain, like, it was like their favorite snack, and they were like, "Bro, I'll give you 3 of these for your such and such."
Oh, yes, the barter, the infamous barter that goes on in where things like become a value. You have to trade them off depending on who you're dealing with, and you get a great deal. And people would comment on the deal. Like what did you give for that nutty bar?
Oh yeah, they
I gave him the peanuts.
I would have given
chip.
you this for that.
Yeah, like what are you thinking?
I would have given you a book of stamps. A book of stamps,
right?
That's $10.
I know. Like, what are you thinking, bro? You could have gave that. So you get judged on the bartering. So I never wanted to eat my Christmas bag until Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So I would never touch it.
That's nuts.
I know.
Mine halfway gone.
I have a mental block going on, and I'm like, I'm not going to eat this.
Half of mine would be gone that day.
That day, you would just smack it down. I watch people do that. Just
Yeah.
But I always got because once mine's gone, I'm like, once mine's gone, I'm like, I want some more of that. You know what I'm saying? Where can I get another one and barter it off? But so the Christmas bag was one thing. Did you know people who sold their Christmas bag?
Oh yeah, guys would sell it.
What was the rate?
I don't know.
Was it a flat book?
Yeah, I was gonna say no. A couple flat books.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it obviously went down as time went on.
Right. So before people would sell it,
people were selling it for $20-$30, and then as time went on, it's worth less and less because there's less and less stuff in it.
Yeah, Christmas bag.
I'll miss the Christmas bag.
I miss the Christmas bag too.
I feel like telling Jess, I should. How funny would that be? I go and I get a bunch of stuff and I make a Christmas bag for her
in a plastic, and you get it sealed. You can get it sealed at the UPS store. You can get a little thing of plastic and get it sealed. Oh my God, that would be funny.
She would be like, "What the?"
You'd be like, "Eh."
I used to think, how funny would it be to show up at dinner with some guy and that you knew from prison, and the waitress come over and say, "No, I got it, bro," and pull out a bunch of flat books and a bag of keefy. "You keep that, honey. That's for you." The guy would be like, die laughing.
You keep that. That's for you. Yeah. I think it's funny. I'm laughing now just thinking about the Christmas. I think that would be like hilarious. You're like, honey. She's like, what is this anyway? He's like, it's a lot in here shaking. Are you freaking kidding me?
What did you do? Those are exotics.
That's right.
They don't have that on Commissary. And get a Commissary. My buddy Nico sends me Commissary lists.
Oh, really?
He'll send me a Commissary list. Like you can click on it and you could print off a Commissary list. I could put the Commissary list in the bag with it.
There you go.
So
did you get a list? Like, what did they add on the because they had items on Commissary for Christmas time.
Oh yeah. They had the only thing I remember, because they had a bunch of them, like maybe a bunch. I say a bunch, like 5 or 6 different things. The only thing I remember was they had the little Christmas cakes.
Yes.
It was like a.
It was like what do they call them? Zingers. Zebra cakes. It's like the
zebra cakes, and then they had
the Christmas, the green and the red.
Yeah, and they looked. Well, they would have like a white frosting, and then they would have little green and red stripes on it, and it looked like
a Christmas ornament. And it was one of those soft cakes covered with
and they were good.
The white chocolate. Yeah, that gave me heartburn.
I have a sweet tooth, I have a sweet tooth.
Me too. That gave me heartburn. Those Christmas cakes. Yeah. I like the Christmas cookies. I like when they came out with the candy.
What?
The Christmas candy?
Christmas candy? What was the Christmas candy?
Peppermint bark.
Oh, peppermint bark. I remember the peppermint sticks.
Well, that's candy canes. But
candy canes. Sorry, candy canes. Yeah.
Right, but you never had the peppermint bark?
I don't remember. What it was.
You don't eat that now that you're free? I'm going to bring you some peppermint bark.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh, delicious.
But I remember the little cakes.
The cakes. That's what you're stuck on, the cakes.
Because I really like the cakes.
What about the creamers?
Oh yeah, they had
flavored coffee creamers. Yeah,
flavored creamers.
Yes,
that was a treat. It was a real treat.
Yeah. Then they would come out with like either like a fish or some type of tuna or something, a flavored meat. You know what I'm saying? Or another sausage.
Guys would like buy that stuff up. They'd be like, bro, they'd max you out, like some guy would end up with like 40 or 50 or 60 of them in his.
Right. With the cookies, the cakes, they'd have some different types of candy, like I said, the peppermint bark and things like that. They'd have some hard candy. I don't think they ever had peppermints because they never had the candy canes. But they'd have some kind of different hard candy that was good. And they'd have the creamer and they'd have some type of meat. So, I mean, it wasn't, I guess the selection of Commissary wasn't that big of a deal, but it wasn't Christmas items.
It wasn't a big deal to me because I just never had like any money. Like I spent so little money on Commissary. Like it wasn't until I started optioning, getting like options and making money that I actually spent any money on Commissary. Like, and even then, what I would consider spending money on Commissary, most people would be like, "Are you serious?"
You ate out of the chow hall most of the time.
Almost exclusively ate out of the chow hall. Came out. I walked out of prison. I weighed 149 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. So right now I weigh 179.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So just eating the chow hall food, no doo-wop, and just whatever they had.
Well, I mean, I was trying to lose weight. So I mean, I maintained for let's say 11 years. I maintained probably 175 pound weight just eating out of the. And I drank Keefy coffee, and I drank creamer, and I used sweetener because there was no sugar. They removed all the sugar from the compound.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I very seldom, like, I might buy. God, bro, I really almost bought. I buy a couple candy bars, and then what else would I buy? God, really almost nothing. Like
you didn't buy soups?
Oh no, oh yeah, I definitely bought
chips
soups. I definitely bought soups. Very seldom did I buy chips. If I did, I would buy.
I know what else they had. The jalapeno, the poppers.
Yeah, I can't see, but I can't. One, I don't like hot stuff, so I would buy like Cheetos. The problem with me buying a bag of Cheetos is it might last 2 days.
Oh wow!
And that was a bag. That wasn't a little bag. That was like a bag. So it was like, this is not good. But what I typically do is, you get and I didn't have to buy a coffee and creamer because I taught the real estate class, and those guys would give me coffees and creamer. So
I remember you said, "Just get me a coffee and a creamer, and I'll sign you in."
Yeah,
and they'd bring you a coffee. You're like, all right, I got you.
Oh, I'd have tons of them. I have like 30 or 40 coffees and creamers in there. Be packed. And, of course, it dwindles throughout the semester, and then it's like, oh, need this semester to end.
A semester's only 90 days, right?
Yeah, but I was drinking a lot of them. I drank at least 4 cups a day. At least 4, maybe 5 cups a day.
So that's it. All right. Anyway, I won't get into the spoon. I mean, how heaving of a spoonful?
A lot. I'm not a fan of coffee. I drink it to keep me awake.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
Especially
coffee.
Coffee.
Well, just eat it out of the bag. You might as well just.
Keefy. Did you ever used to make the iced coffee in there? Yeah, guys would make. Listen, there were guys that it was almost Starbucks in there.
Amen. Frappuccinos, and they'd whip it. They'd actually people be standing around whipping it up.
Yeah,
frappes. But all right, so we were talking about the.
So you were on your second one, which was the bag.
The bag, but I want to go back to the just if I can for a moment to just eating the prison food to lose weight on the diet. I had a question about that. So did you ever get seconds, or you just ate whatever they gave you?
I ate whatever they ate. If I wanted to eat, like some of the stuff I just didn't eat. Like it was just not good. Like liver. We talked about this, I think. Like
they stopped serving liver.
When I was there was liver. So they would give you liver. Like, I don't eat liver. I can't eat it. Other guys would come, and then you'd get the liver. You'd come, and I'd eat like the green beans, and then guys would sit there, and I'd say, "Does anybody want my liver?" And there'd be 5 guys. "Oh, I'll take it, Cox. I'll take it. Okay." I was like, Jesus. Like they would love to eat it. It was like, oh, it's disgusting. So there'd be stuff like that, and or they'd give you tofu. They call them chicken burgers, like they weren't, or they give you the chicken patty. Like there was some decent chicken patty if they deep fried the chicken patty. Then it was just some of it was just disgusting.
Yeah.
But I typically ate towards the end. I would eat breakfast because that's the best meal. Really, is breakfast, and it's not great.
No,
but you would get like hard boiled eggs. You get a couple hard boiled eggs, and you'd get maybe oatmeal and something else that I can't even remember. It was so. Whatever. And then you eat that. And then for lunch, maybe 3 days out of the week, you'd have a good meal. Like you'd have fried chicken, or you'd have hamburgers and French fries, or you'd have, like, wow, that's good. And I would eat that because you can't snack if you don't have anything in your locker throughout the day. So you're not snacking.
Right.
And then at dinner were not great meals.
No.
They
were kind of flimsy. Lunch was really
it's the main meal of the day.
Yes, that's the main meal.
Substantive meals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the one that was the hottest and the most organized and the most people went to.
Yeah.
Dinner was sporadic.
Yes.
And sometimes you go in that chow hall and you're like, what are they having? Is nobody going?
Yeah, nobody was either.
You know what I'm saying?
And then sometimes you go and they give you 2 corn dogs. And I mean, that it was lined up. The line was like wrapped around the building. It was
the hot dog meal. Yes.
You remember corn dogs when they had
they stopped doing the corn dogs, but the hot dog, yes, I remember that. God,
anything that they made that wasn't in the prison was delicious.
Yes.
Every once in a while they would have remember the big cookies?
Oh yes, package.
In the package,
and they had the red velvet, white chocolate.
Guys were ready to stab each other over those cookies. I was ready to. I was contemplating violence. It was so good. They had the big.
Oh my God.
The big. They'd have the big.
They want Otis Studemeyer. It was somebody else that was just as delicious.
Macadamia. They'd have macadamia nuts in them, and then the big chunks of white chocolate. Oh man, that was so good.
Stop. All right, that's enough. I'm out of here. I'm going to eat some meat.
So, and then you have the Christmas or the holiday meal for Christmas.
Yes, finally got to that point.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So, just like Thanksgiving,
all right,
the holiday meal. When you get it, they would give you a bag dinner afterwards.
Right.
Generally, the holiday meal in federal prison for Christmas is the hen.
Is it the Cornish hen? Okay,
you're saying hen. So you get a whole small hen.
Right. Well, sometimes there were some holiday meals or Christmas meal for Christmas where it was like there were times when I got it. And it was like, this is massive. And then there were times, maybe a year later you'd get one and it was like mine was on a diet.
Yeah, you're like, this is a child. This is a Cornish baby.
Yeah, it was horrible. But still you typically got so much stuffing and so many side things that it was just like it was a meal that would fill you up. And
yes.
You were just like, wow, like this is.
Oh yeah, because they had potatoes. I remember with the
sour cream.
Sour cream.
Like they give you like a scoop of sour. You didn't get a lot of sour cream.
No.
You get like a scoop of it. God, it was so good.
Good. Because it was things that you were deprived of.
Yeah.
Like all year round. So obviously it was delicious. So, but it was like you said, it was a great meal because they'd have bread, they'd have some type of pie, like maybe apple, or if they had a dessert. They had like 2 or 3 vegetables. I remember they would have green beans, but they'd have some other vegetable. I can't remember what, but it might have been the potato. But it was a very good, healthy meal.
Macaroni and cheese.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Good macaroni and cheese, like where they didn't steal all the cheese out of the chow hall, like somebody was guarding the cheese. It was delicious.
Christmas is a one of the better. Like I enjoy that meal better than a Thanksgiving meal, but it's a very delicious meal. Same thing with the bartering. People, because I've known people who sold their whole tray.
Right. Like
they'll go, I'll sell you the Christmas meal tray.
Yeah.
People are like, really? Yeah, I'll give you whatever. Give people like 4 soups for the Christmas.
That's nuts.
I've seen it, bro.
For 4 soups, I wouldn't dare give you anything for 4 soups. Like,
and that's
like a book of stamps.
Like bro. I talked to a guy in the unit, like, I just needed it. No, I think he did it for a book of stamps.
Yeah, I wouldn't even do that because to me, I'm eating out of the chow hall. I don't have any money.
Yes. So yeah, and then he would
even when I had money, I just almost refused to buy stuff out of there.
Out of the commissary.
Yeah,
you weren't like Reese that.
Reese was living his life in prison. Reese was okay with being in prison. Like he wanted to get out. Of course, everybody wants to get out, but he was really hanging out in prison. It's like, this is part of my life and this is where I'm at. And
he was an avid reader. I remember Reese as an avid reader.
Reese was brilliant. He really was. I used to always, and I've told
I need to call him.
My sister, we talked about you a couple days ago. He called me.
Yeah, he called me out of the blue and we talked.
He told me that I'm sorry. I was talking to my sister, and every time he comes up, it just kills me. It's like what a ruin this guy's life has been as a result of drugs. This is a guy who can tell you how many Sherman tanks were manufactured, where they fought in the European plain, which manufacturers made the Sherman tank, because he'll say, well, I know you're thinking that General Motors made all of them, but that's not true. Actually, 1,122 of them were actually manufactured by GM. Now, and he'll sit there and explain the whole thing. He can tell you about Liberty ships, how this section of the Liberty ship was built in here. And the way they put them together was they actually transported them on. I mean, he should have been a professor teaching at a university.
Right.
He's so filled with knowledge about history.
Yes.
And yet...
And he has the hair. He has the hair
of
a professor.
He does. He does. He's got
the long gray blonde hair,
the balding
hair, but the long hair down,
and it's wavy. It's got that,
and he has the snippiness. Like his comebacks and lines
super sharp
are perfect for whatever you might throw at him, just like a professor.
Yeah.
You know?
He's great.
So yeah, that's what you want to do, huh? Oh, sorry.
Oh my God. Yeah, he was you little crab. You get he always has these little sayings.
Beautiful comeback. And we argued politics beautifully. That's what I was thinking. I need to call him up and argue politics.
He would be funny.
So yes, and you know what? That's what makes this difficult because we definitely need Reese here to tell us about the Christmas meal.
Yeah, he could tell you
exactly what they had.
And he could tell you from when he first got there.
Yes.
Because I remember he said when he first got to prison, he goes, I got to prison, got there, got a pack of cigarettes, was sitting outside smoking cigarettes, had a cup of coffee, was eating a something bar or whatever. And he said, looking around, thinking to myself, I can do 20 here. I can do 20.
Oh my God.
And
Did he end up doing 20?
No, remember he got 23. Remember what happened with Reese?
No.
Reese was, quick side note, Reese was locked up, had pled guilty, got 23 years. And he's sitting in a prison cell one day with this kid that was in his a kid that was in his unit.
Right.
And he said we went, and Reese had just gotten pled guilty something, and the kid had gone to plead guilty or something. I don't even think he pled guilty. I think he was being debriefed.
Right.
And they put him in a holding cell. And they put a bunch of people in there, and this Mexican walks and sits down right in front of him. And the kid looked up and he said, I thought he was going to piss himself. Kid looked up, stared at the guy, and the guy goes, let me tell you something. He said, your name is on my witness list. He goes, if your name doesn't come off my witness list, he goes, I'm going to send people to 105 Robinson Street, which was where his mother lived. He said, and I'm going to have them take your mother and your sister, and they're going to take them out. And he just started describing what they were going to do to his mother and sister. And the guy was he's like, I don't know why I told them I wouldn't cooperate. I told them I wouldn't. And Reese was just sitting there. He said, I'm just sitting there I don't even hear the conversation. He said, now, when they start taking everybody off to their, respective, holding facilities, or to the marshal holdover where you're at or where he's at.
Right.
When they remove him, the guy's like, oh my God. So he's freaking out. Well, when they get back to the unit, the kid, he couldn't really read or write that well, right? He's 19 or 20. He goes to Reese and says, I need you to help me write a letter to the prosecutor telling him I don't want to be a witness. So Reese is telling him, look, that guy's not going to do nothing. He's like, you don't understand. You don't know who these people are. He'll kill my sister and my, you don't know, and he'll do what they'll do. So Reese goes, I'll write the letter. He writes the whole letter for the kid, and they send it off. And Reese said, I didn't think anything else of it. Got to prison, got some commissary. He's sitting there smoking a cigarette, everything. He said it was about 2 months, maybe 3 months. He said one day he's on the pack out. So I look at him, you're on the pack out. I'm like, what the hell? Which the pack out list means they're moving you.
Right.
You got to pack your stuff up. Show up tomorrow morning at R&D. We're moving you. And he was like, man. And he said he thought he had this is how silly it is. He thought he had an outstanding warrant for a DUI or something.
Right.
And he thought that they were bringing him back for that, as if they would in federal prison. They don't give a shit that you got a warrant. They're not moving you.
Right.
So, but he didn't know. He's the first time he's been in federal prison. So he goes, he packs his stuff out. He goes, they bring me all the way back to the U.S. Marshal's holdover,
right,
or to the county jail, whatever, in Tampa. He said, and then one day, 4 or 5 days after he's been there, they put him on. They say, hey, you're going in the bus. So they take him, put him in the little van, and they move him. They bring him to the U.S. or they bring him to the U.S. Attorney's office. He's thinking of the courthouse. He's thinking what is going on? He didn't know why. He's like, I don't know why I'm here. Why would they be bringing me to federal court? He goes, I'm thinking, am I getting reindicted? What happened? No lawyer came to talk to him. Nothing. He said they bring him to the U.S. Attorney's office. The marshals walk him into a conference room, sit him down. He goes, I sit down. And he said, a couple minutes later, he said, the U.S. attorney walks in, an assistant U.S. attorney walks in. And the guy walks in, he looks at him and he said, listen, 6 months ago, you were in a holding facility with a kid named Tommy whatever, and he's like, okay. He said, there were 8 other people in that room. He said, you're the only you and Tommy and one other guy are the only people that speak English. All the other guys spoke Spanish. He didn't realize, there's just a bunch of Spanish guys, Mexican guys that were in there with him. And he said, there was a conversation between Tommy and one of the Mexicans in English. He goes, and you were there. Did you hear the conversation? And he goes, yeah, I heard the conversation. He goes, as a matter of fact, he said, when Tommy got back, he wanted me to write a letter taking him off your witness list. And I'm the one that wrote the letter because Tommy can't read or write very well. He said, so he had me write it. And he said the U.S. attorney's eyes were like, whoa. And he goes, so do you know what happened during that conversation? The Mexican guy's name, whatever, Carlos, Rodriguez or whatever. He's like, what did Rodriguez say to him? And he goes, what do you want him to have said? And he goes, don't screw with me. He goes, don't.
The prosecutor said?
The prosecutor goes, don't screw with me, man. He goes, what did he say? He said, all right, calm down. He said, listen. He goes, you going to take care of me? You going to help me out? And he goes, yeah, I'm going to help you out. He said, I will make sure you get taken care of. He said, okay. He said, Rodriguez threatened Tommy. He said, gave him his mother's address and told him if his name didn't come off that witness list within the next week, he was going to send some guys to his mother's house. He was going to kidnap his mother and his sister, and they were going to rape and murder them and leave their bodies whatever in the trunk of a car or somewhere in a parking lot or whatever he said. And he's like, will you testify that in court? He said, absolutely. If you're going to take care of me, he goes, I promise you, I will. He said, I will take care. Make sure you're okay. And he goes, okay. So Reese leaves. He said, listen, a week later, I'm on a bus. I go back to Coleman. He's like, I unpack my stuff again. I'm getting situated. He said, one day, 3 to 6 months later, I'd forgot. I think he might have said it was almost a year later. I'd forgotten all about it. So 6 or 8 months later, whatever, he goes, I forgot all about it. He said, one day, I'm on the pack out. Now I'm thinking, he's like, this is ridiculous. He goes, this must be the DUI thing.
Again, he
said, because I didn't know how, I just figured I'd get a letter.
Right.
He goes, nope, go back. 3 days later, 4 days later, they say, get in the van. He gets in the van. They bring him to the courthouse, goes in the courthouse. He said, I waddle into the courtroom. He said, I waddle in. He said, the prosecutor's sitting right there. Somebody else is sitting with him. And he said, I'm standing there. He said, there's a lawyer sitting here, says, I'm your lawyer. I'm representing you. He's like, oh, okay. And,
without ever talking to you.
Never talked to him. And he said, they said, you're here for a sentence reduction. He's like, okay, cool.
A sentence reduction?
What did you think they were going to do?
Well, I thought it was the trial.
No, it's almost empty. No, the guy pled guilty. He didn't know any of this, though.
Reese didn't.
No, Reese said that's what the guy said. They said, look, you agreed to cooperate with somebody. The guy ended up pleading guilty. He said, so they never had to call you, but they put in for a Rule 35. U.S. attorney stands up, judge comes in, stands up, said, Mr. Reese Townsend here, he agreed to do this, helped us with our case, agreed to cooperate. Luckily, we didn't have to within a week or two, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we want to reduce his sentence. We want to give him 3-4 level reduction, which brings him from 23 years down to 16 years. And he goes, and he said, judge goes, okay, cool, boom. And he said, the U.S. attorney turned to him, he goes, told you I'd take care of you. And he said, all right. Oh, no, I remember the judge said this to him. The judge said, because Reese used to say this all the time, it fucking cracked me up. He goes, it was a female judge. And he said, she looked at him and she said, Mr. Townsend, I'd like you to know, we appreciate you helping the prosecutor out. And also, I'm going to reduce your sentence to, 16 years, just like they requested. And you can come back here and see me as often as you want. You're going to be in prison. If you hear anything, you can come back here as often as you want. And he said, I've been trying to see that woman ever since. Which never, because he used to say that all the time, and I'd heard he said it like 10 times. I used to laugh every time. I've been trying to see her. Remember he'd take his hat off?
I've been trying. Yep. Oh,
I've been trying to see that woman ever since. So funny.
Reese.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So that's Reese's. That was from 23 down to 16. You know, and did all 16.
I wonder why my luck was never that.
I know. This, you know, I got a buddy Donovan. I talk to every once in a while, and because he knows the Wilson thing, right? That I bumped. And Wilson at one point, only for like a month or two, was actually my cellie. And so Wilson, so like the whole time I knew Wilson for like 2 years, for like 2 months he was my cellie. So Donovan always said, I'm like, hey Donovan, what's going on? He's like, I don't know, bro. I just can't seem to get a good cellie. I'm trying to get one. He's like, well, I said
one that he can put something together on.
He goes,
there you go.
Not everybody can have it. And not everybody gets a cellie like Wilson. I go, stop. And he laughs a lot. Okay, so put that aside.
Which was a good story.
It was funny though, right?
Yeah,
Wait, I have one more story.
All right.
Okay. The other story is this is my Christmas story. My Christmas story is we had this guy who was an orderly named Billy. Billy was a piece of garbage. Just didn't want to do anything. I don't know how he became the head orderly. He was just a piece of garbage. Oh. So
don't even get me with the head orderly stories, but go ahead.
So he was bald. He was a biker. He had like the Fu Manchu mustache, fat, 6 foot tall. Just a douchebag. So one day, it was maybe a week before Christmas,
right?
And I was like, where's the Christmas tree? Like they didn't put up the Christmas tree. Do you remember they used to put up a Christmas? Yeah. And at least at the low and the medium, I remember they put up Christmas trees.
Each unit had like when we first got in there, they had a decorating contest.
Right.
The unit that decorated the best would win pizza.
Yeah, they still did. They still did at the low too.
Okay.
But this was at the low. And so they had put up a Christmas tree every year I'd been there. This was like the last year I was there.
Right.
And so I went, I said, Billy, where's the Christmas tree? He's like, I told Jenkins, Jenkins was a counselor. And I told Jenkins I wasn't going to put it up. Nobody wants to see that thing. Nobody wants that tree up. And I went, I want to see the tree up.
Right.
And he's like, the fuck you want to see the tree up for? I go, because I live here. Like, I mean, I'm not one of these guys who's like, oh, this is a temporary thing. Temporary, it's been almost 13 years. Ain't temporary, bro. I live here. Where do you live? I live in B3. B4.
And I want a tree in B3 view.
Right. I like to see it.
Right.
Because what was nice about it was when they shut the lights off and they would leave the lights on the Christmas tree. So the lights in the unit are off. You could see the blinking of the lights. And look, it's not, you have so little. Like, it's one of those things where a guy stabs another guy because he took 2 of his magazines or because he took his brush. And people are like, you must be a savage to stab someone over a brush. Well, that brush is $5 or $6, and that's a lot in prison. And you can't let people steal from you in prison, or everybody starts taking your stuff. And so you cannot use the values of what you hold valuable in the free world to what's valuable in incarceration. So is a brush worth getting stabbed over? Maybe. Yeah. Wow. And I'm not a violent person, but maybe. You're not stealing from me, right?
Okay, right.
So, and there are some people who are like, yeah, the guy took my shoes. Those shoes cost me $40. Is that worth me finding the guy and beating him in the head with a lock? Yeah, it is. So, I was like, no, bro, I want to see that. Like, I liked that. I remember I liked it laying in bed and seeing those lights on flashing like that.
Right,
it was a little bit of feeling of Christmas that you could feel, just a little bit.
The remnants of it left. Yes.
So I told, and Billy was like, nah, nobody wants to see that. I said, I do. And so I said, you're putting up the tree, bro. He said, no, I'm not. I said, yeah, watch this. I go into Jenkins and I say, hey, I want Billy to put up the tree. I said, I'll put up the tree.
Right.
And she goes, Matt, Billy said nobody wants it. I said, Billy's a liar. I said, I want the tree. And she was training somebody, our new counselor, which is amazingly it was just as useless as she was. So Agard was her name.
Agard.
So I was like, Jenkins, I was like, come on, I want the tree. And she goes, all right, Cox, here's what I'll do. And she thought it was funny, right? She goes, here's what I do. I'm leaving in the next hour. She goes, you get as many people in the unit to come ask me. And if it's enough people and I think that the most of the unit wants the tree, then then tomorrow I'll have Billy give you the box and you can put it up. I said, all right, now we're talking.
There you go.
Listen, I went around and was asking everybody. And guys are like, I'm not doing that. I was like, what's wrong with you, bro? It's like, how many times did you ask me to do this? How many times did you ask me to go read your legal work? How many times did you, I didn't say, go fuck yourself. I said, oh, Christ, Cox. I go, just go knock on the door and say, I want a Christmas tree and walk away. I mean, I must have had 20 or 30 fucking dudes. 20 or 30 out of 180 guys, and half the unit wasn't even in there. Half of the guys I just wouldn't ask because I was like, hey, I was wondering if you could, what's up? And I was like, nothing. You're not a Christmas tree person. I can sense it. And I walk away. So, but most of the guys were like, and I went into the cracker box and was like, come on, man, I'm asking you guys to. They were like, oh, come on. I was like, come on. And so they would, and guys would walk over and, I'd like a Christmas tree. Or Cox wants a Christmas tree. She'd be like, all right.
So you sold
I did get the Christmas tree. I put up the lights. Yeah, it was all me. I had to do everything. Some guys, maybe they helped. I don't remember anybody helping. Jerks. Yeah. Had the little flashing lights. Yeah, it was good times. Good times. So that's my Christmas story.
Are you putting a tree in the house, by the way?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're waiting to go get a real one.
No, I want the tree right after Thanksgiving.
No, I'm getting it right after.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. No, if it was up to Jess would have gone and got it. I said, no, you got to go after Thanksgiving.
Okay, all right.
Keep in mind, we waited so long last time. We got a tree that half of it was missing. And Jess was like, well, we'll put it up against the wall and it's fine. I go, no. I
said, I got to get a real tree? Is that what you get?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, last year. And I was like, no, I'll fix it. She goes, how? I go, don't, I got you. I got it. Trust me. So you know what I did?
What?
I cut off random branches on the really thick side, took my drill and drilled into the thing, sharpened them off and stuck them in there. Listen, that tree was awesome when I was, and by the way, they grow. It's not like they're dead. When you stick them in, you're sticking a live limb into the live, and you put it in the thing. We got
in the
water, everything.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we had. Listen, it wasn't tall. It was like 5 foot tall, right? It wasn't, but
so was it
we don't want a big
massive.
Tree. Put a big tree. I might get a bigger tree this year.
Yeah, I'm thinking like one right there.
That's where we put it right over there, right where that wall is.
I'm thinking like in between the kitchen and the doorway to closet, like right there.
Maybe.
I like it. Well,
it's nice. I like Christmas.
I love Christmas. All right, so that's
Remember last year? When I was sending out, even Colby knows. I would send out people Christmas carols in the morning. Every morning I wake up 5 or 6, and I would send 30 or 40 people. Oh, that's right.
No. I got out the day before Christmas, and I didn't get a carol.
No, I sent them all December long.
But I got out the day. Oh, I didn't have a phone till after.
I was going to say, well, you were in all throughout December.
I didn't get one
because you didn't get out till you just said Christmas.
I got out the day before Christmas Eve.
Well, then how would you have gotten it all December long?
I didn't get one after Christmas, is what I'm saying.
You didn't even have I'm the one that got you your cell phone.
Exactly, but that was after Christmas.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, that was your Christmas present.
What about the carol?
So, listen, I shoot them all the time, right?
Go ahead.
Shot them all the time, right? Like then I found out later, like some people blocked me. I actually got I got a text message from one person who said, listen, she said, I was sending them to this guy and his girlfriend, right? I won't say who they are. And I get a text from her saying, listen, both me and Jeff, we sleep. We don't wait. We're not early risers. Also, we have elderly parents, so we can't put our cell phones on silent because we have family members that may need us. So you're sending us stuff at 5 a.m. She said, and we're not Christmas people either. So we don't really enjoy the Christmas music. I am asking you to not send any more Christmas music to either one of us. And I feel like it was a polite way of saying it, but it just came off really, really
Condescending.
yeah, and aggressive and angry and condescending. And even though I can't read it and think like it came off rude. Now, granted, I feel like that would be have been a phone call I would have made. Hey, listen, like I didn't want to because, like I felt like, but I've had so many people that, and keep in mind, these are random Christmas songs. They're not for everybody. But I've had so many people who have sent me texts saying, bro, like, I love getting these things. Like every morning I wake up, it's 5 a.m, 6 and 4. I'll wake up at 7 o'clock, roll over, see that you sent me a text, hit the button, boom, it starts playing Christmas music. Like my wife and I love this. Like me and my girl love this. Or hey, man, I listen. Like honestly, I don't know. Yeah, I love Christmas. I love Christmas music.
Right.
And so I've had so many people that have said that. And then other people are like, bro, why are you sending me these songs? Like, it always kills me when they're like, why are you sending me these songs?
Well,
Well,
I mean, you were doing it for the different reactions, right?
No, it was just, I was saying, hey, it's December. Like, it's Christmas. I love Christmas.
I love Christmas too.
I send them out. Okay. I think that's nice that I'm thinking, hey, you might like
I do too, but everybody's reaction is not going to be the same.
I know. Well, some people are just Scrooges. They really are.
All right. So the last part of the holiday and the last meal is New Year's Day. New Year's Eve in prison sucks. It's treated like any other day.
Yeah.
The attitude among the people, most of the people I knew came and got my allergy pills because they didn't want to hear, like they go, I don't want to be anything close to conscious.
It's almost like they don't want to be there.
At the turnover.
It really is almost like they don't want to be there. This is not right. It's like just negative.
Deal with what you got to deal with.
Yeah, this is what it is.
Completely sober, deal with it. So most of the time, like I said, somebody come and say, how many of those allergy pills you got? Because I don't want to hear all that hooping and hollering at midnight.
When I would sleep in the low. You never went to a low.
No.
Couldn't behave yourself long enough. So listen,
touche.
So loud. You use 100 and in general. Like I used to try and sleep with the earplugs in. Remember they used to buy the earplugs?
Yes.
Used to try and sleep with those in. Did that for about 2-3 weeks one time, and I got an ear infection. I've never had an ear infection in my life. Ear infections are no joke.
No.
Especially in prison. They don't want to help you at all.
No.
Then
drainage and everything is horrible.
What I finally did was I took, how you got two blankets. I rolled one of the blankets up and I would lay on it and wrap it around my head. So I'm like in a cocoon laying there. And that's what I did. I had a cocoon and you couldn't hear anything. Somebody would walk up and they'd have to, people don't want to touch you when you're sleeping. They walk up and poke me once or twice for me to, and I roll
he's
over.
alive.
Yeah, but I couldn't hear anything with that get up on. Took me a while to really get it down to where
you can tune it all out.
Because it sucks. It does suck.
Are we talking New Year's Eve
Not
still?
Just in general. New Year's Eve was just the same thing. Like I don't even remember. Maybe I woke up with everybody.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Ah! And it would cut off just like that. Everybody.
Yeah, everybody like. Yeah.
And the New Year's Day meal was black-eyed peas and steak.
Yeah.
Or what they called steak. It's some type of beef. A lot of time it was a hamburger. But it was a special meal and you got a sack lunch.
Yeah.
For dinner.
I like the sack lunches.
I
You
did
keep
too.
being upset about. You seem upset about it.
Actually,
you either got peanut butter and jelly, or you got bologna and a piece of cheese.
yes.
And I like
With
bologna.
2 sandwiches. 2 pieces of bologna. Yeah.
Yeah, I like bologna sandwiches. I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. No,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you're not a fan.
I'm not a huge fan.
And you got a little bag of chips.
And some cookies.
Yeah, so usually a little packet of cookies.
I never saw the chips. It was.
Yeah, you never got a little bag of chips.
No, we get the cookies. You get the sandwich and the cookies. I never remember.
You either get one or the other, really.
Yeah. So I mean, it's But that would be our New Year's. That's how we bring in New Year's Day. We'd get that meal at lunch with the black-eyed peas, which is supposed to be good luck, and celebrate. And that would be the 3 meal combo over those month and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
To round out the year.
Yeah, November, December is tough on dieting.
Yeah.
In prison.
It is.
A lot of guys dieting in prison, trying to get their figure right. Yeah. And those are tough months.
It's a tough month. Yeah. So we're going to let them know that we're thinking about them, doing the podcast.
Poor Donovan.
I know.
Perfect.
Brandy, poor. I feel bad.
Who's Brandy?
A friend that I knew before I went in, but she had meth problems then, and now she caught a meth case. And so she gets out in 2035. Those numbers are brutal, man. Brutal.
Was it like manufacturing or just selling? And she's got a bunch of charges. Is she already off the chart?
Bro, she's one that got, like, long story short, there was 2 conspiracies. She's in the middle, and her lawyer convinced her to plead guilty to her own conspiracy by herself. Yeah. He kind of basically came to her. I don't know exactly what he told her because I've asked her a couple of times, but he's kind of saying, like, they don't exactly know where you fit in this, so you're going to plead guilty to your own. He's going to draw up a written indictment. He's going to write it out. It's not even going to be an indictment. It's going to be a complaint, and you're going to plead guilty to the complaint, saying that you were in a conspiracy with multiple people to sell meth.
Has she been sentenced?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
over.
But yeah. Lawyers, just like mine, they just give, like, at some point, they're kind of like, I guess you have to, crack a couple of eggs to get an omelet.
Yeah. No, it's a learning curve, and some people have to do a life sentence for me to learn.
Do you by chance remember Abson?
No. I mean, I'm really bad with names, though.
Never mind, because you didn't know him. He was at the pen.
Oh,
never mind.
Okay.
He was the
Thank
only
God.
person. He was the only person I know that pled guilty to a life sentence.
Why wouldn't you just go to trial?
On drugs. Yeah. They tricked him. So, I mean, it's just, this was a holiday podcast.
Oh, yeah,
Let's keep it holiday-ish.
Holiday.
And happy Merry Christmas
Yes.
to all.
And to all, a good night. So I appreciate you guys watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Please consider joining my Patreon and buying my book. It would make a great Christmas present.
It would.
Even though I think Colby's going to release this Christmas Eve.
Really? You are?
You can download it. It's on Audible and an electronic version. See ya.